Accessing library computer data.
Hello and welcome to my review of the brand new, well, relatively new, Federation versus Klingon starter set. So this is the second starter set that has come out for Star Trek Attack Wing. It includes 4 ships instead of the 3. So we have the USS Enterprise D, the USS Sutherland, Kempex Attack Cruiser, and ICAS Vorn. So a Galaxy Nebula Vorch and Cavort, and it came out in December of 2017. So I'll be going over some of the contents that come with the starter set and then go over the cards, as there are some changes to the tokens that come with it. So let's get started. So I'll just quickly go over what comes in the box. So you get a USS Enterprise D / Galaxy class ship template, a USS Sutherland / Nebula class ship template, Kimpex Attack Cruiser / Vorcha class ship template, an IKS Vorn / Cavort class ship template. You get one Galaxy class ship maneuver dial and model, one Nebula class ship maneuver dial and model, one Vorcha class ship maneuver dial and model, and one Cavort class ship maneuver dial and model. They did repaint the Federation ships again. I actually prefer the Venture and the Phoenix compared to the new Enterprise D and Sutherland paint jobs. The gray's a little brighter almost. They didn't black out some of the windows. The yellow is a lot more prominent. Overall, I think I like the other paint job a bit better. They are better than the original starter sets, so still not quite as good as X-Wing, which is unfortunate. So you get 6 auxiliary tokens, 6 battle station tokens, 6 cloak tokens, 6 critical hit tokens, 12 disable tokens, 6 evade tokens, 1 fleet action token, 1 +1 admiral ID token, 6 scan tokens, 14 shield tokens. You get 12 target lock tokens, so A, B, C, D, and F. So these A, B, and C, I believe, came with the original starter sets, so kind of a refresh if you don't have it. 8 time tokens, which did not come in the original starter set. 12 mission tokens. The one change that they did make with these is they did put a number on them, so make sure you have a full set. I also noticed with the cardboard, it's a lot smoother and glossier than some of the older cardboard that they use for the tokens. I actually like it quite a bit more. So you get a planet token gain. It's the same as the original starter sets. Big change with the minefield token though, it is now an oval rather than kind of a regular shape. With a recent wharf ruling, they are both still valid. So if you have a lot of cloaked mines you want to deploy, you can still use the old ones. You get 5 attack and 5 defense dice, 1 William T. Riker effect token, 1 Geordie LaForge effect token, 1 Deanna Troi effect token, 1 maneuver set, and 1 range ruler. These are unchanged from the previous starter sets, and 6 objective tokens. So you get 3 space stations, 1 asteroid, 1 derelict ship, and 1 debris field. Again, the same as the original starter sets, but they are numbered again, so help you keep track of a full set. And 1 damage deck, so the same 33 cards, they just rewarded it to kind of go along with what they did with the cards. Another thing I noticed with the starter set cards themselves is that the card stock is quite thin compared to the faction packs and card packs that they've recently released. So it's kind of poor quality control, or they got cheap, or some combination of the above. But anyway, let's get to the Federation cards. So the first ship that comes in the pack is, what else would it be? The USS Enterprise D. Probably the upteenth version of it we've had, but one of the better ones actually. For 4 attack dice, 1 evade, 5 hull, and 4 shields. So you get the standard Fed action bar, evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations. You get a tech slot, a weapon slot, and 3 crew slots. That tech slot is beautiful. So when defending, the attacking ship rolls -1 attack die for 26 points. So it is 2 points cheaper than the old Galaxy class name ships, and the same cost as the old generic. I like this ability. I like this Sutherland's probably a bit better, which I'll get to, but it is probably the second best Enterprise D, next to the original starter, which was give you 360 fire, just because the Galaxy class turns like an absolute boat, but it is not. It is a nice ability to use. So the next card we have is the generic Galaxy class. So it has 4 attack, 1 evade, 5 hull, and 3 shields, so you lose a shield there. Again, standard Fed action bar, evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations. And your slots are tech, weapon, crew, and crew, so you lose a crew slot from the Enterprise D. for 22 points. So this is a 4-point reduction from the original generic Galaxy class. But again, there is a WRF ruling that recently came out that they are going to recost all the old generics to the new generic cost. They're not recosting the old name ships, but at least all your old generics won't be completely useless with the new costing formula. Again, that tech slot is super nice to have. It's actually probably not a bad generic to use. So next we have the Galaxy class movement card. As I said before, this thing turns like an absolute boat. It has no 1 or 2 hard turns, and its 3 hard turns are red. It does have the 5 straight, which I guess is kind of nice, and the 3 straight is green. It also has a 1 reverse and 2 reverse, which are both red. So it does have a decent maneuverability that way, but this thing turns like an absolute boat. I recommend probably Admiral Forrest in order to get some sort of maneuverability out of it. Okay, so the second Federation ship is the USS Sutherland. It is a Nebula class for 4 attack, 1 evade, 1 agility, 4 hull, and 4 shields. Standard vet action bar of evade, target lock, scan, and battle station. You have the tech, weapon, and triple crew slots for 23 points, and its ability is 1 defending, cancel, 1 hit. Excellent ability, allows for a super defensive build with it. The only thing really holding it back is it doesn't have 180 fire, but you throw in something like dorsal weapons array or after torpedo launcher from the, I think it is from the Phoenix. This thing could be really good. Again, that tech slot is really nice to have. And that's also 3 points cheaper than the old Nebula class starships. Love this card. Highly recommend. So for the generic Nebula class, you lose a shield and a crew slot, but you also lose 5 points off the old generic cost, which is fantastic to see. It's still actually a pretty decent generic card to use. I typically don't use generics, but I definitely could see this one getting some play. And for the maneuver card of the Nebula class, it is better than the Galaxy class. You lose the 5 straight and the 2 red reverse, but you also gain the hard 2 turns, which is a much needed addition to this ship. 3 hard turns are still red, but it is a much improved maneuver dial compared to the Galaxy class. Still kind of turns like a boat, but it's better. So the first captain we have is Jean-Luc Picard. He's a skill 8 with dual elite talent slots, which is great to see. So action, place 2 time tokens on this card and target all friendly ships within range 1 to 2. Place a battle station token beside the ship and all target ships. So this version of Picard is 1 less captain skill, but costs the same as Jean-Luc Picard 9. I guess you pay for that with the extra talent slot. I don't think he's the best Picard. It is kind of nice to be able to get battle stations on ships that don't necessarily have native battle stations, like Romulan ships or something like that. But I still think Jean-Luc Picard 9 from the original starter or Ahab Picard from the Enterprise E are probably still a better option. So the second captain we have is Data from his time aboard the USS Sutherland. He's a 4 skill captain with no elite talent slot. So action, target a cloaked opposing ship within range 1 to 2. Remove the target ship's cloak token and enable its shields for 3 points. I don't think he's a very good captain. It's really unfortunate that you get to re-enable their shields right away. I don't honestly see why you'd want to run him. There are better captains out there for dealing with cloak. Other than using him thematically in kind of a fun scenario, I don't see him being played at all. So the third and final captain we have is William T. Riker. So he's a 6 skill captain with an elite talent slot. So action, target the ship or a friendly ship within range 1 to 2. Crew upgrades equipped to the ship cannot be affected by opposing effects this game round. Yeah, don't run this Riker. There's better Rikers out there to play. Hood Riker is, probably the best one, best version of him anyway. Hathaway Riker is also really good if you throw him on a low hull ship. So I don't see why you'd want to play this over either of those two. So the first crew we get is Christopher Hobson. When attacking, if the defending ship is cloaked, the defending ship rolls -2 defense dice for 2 points. Love him if your opponent is running cloaked ships. Sometimes that is kind of hard to tell, so it's kind of a risk or a gamble to bring him. But certainly in scenario games that come with like the expansions, he can be great if you know your opponent is going to be cloaked. So I think he's a maybe depending on what kind of fleet you know your opponent is going to bring. But if it's a cloaking fleet, excellent card. If not, he is kind of useless. So the second crew we have is Beverly Crusher. So activation phase, disable this card. Remove a disable token from a crew upgrade equipped to the ship. Or action, discard this card. Equip a crew upgrade with a cost of 4 SP or less that was discarded from the ship to the ship for 3 points. Her first ability is okay. Not having to use one of your actions to re-enable a crew is always kind of nice, especially if you only want to use them twice. Then this kind of gives you that flexibility to still take your ship action. And her second ability is okay too. If you have a crew that discards a cost 4 or less, you can revive them again for that second use. I don't see her getting a lot of use, but I think she has some niche uses in some fleet builds. So the next crew we have is Deanna Troi, so planning phase. After all ships have chosen their maneuver, discard this card and target 2 opposing ships within range 1 to 3. Look at the maneuver dials of the target ships. Then, this ship may change its chosen maneuver. The target ship's maneuvers may not be changed for the rest of the game round for 2 points. I think it actually reflects her ability as an empath fairly well. It can be actually quite a strong ability to be able to change your maneuver, knowing what your opponent is going to do. So I certainly see some uses for it. Is it something you're going to want to include every build? Probably not. But if you have something that requires your opponent to fly in a certain way, or for you to know how they're going to fly to activate a certain ability, this certainly can be useful for that. So the next crew we have is Geordie LaForge. So activation phase. After the ship reveals its maneuver, place 2 time tokens on this card. This ship may increase or decrease the speed of the revealed maneuver by 2. The color of the maneuver, red, white, or green, is the same as the revealed maneuver. This ship cannot perform an action the game round. This effect is activated for 3 points. I think he's okay. Again, you're probably not going to you're not going to need him in every build. Certainly not a must card. If you need to get to an objective sooner than your opponent, or if you figure out that you're going to crash into your opponent, you can decrease your maneuver by 2 so you don't run into him. But yeah, it's certainly not something you're going to need every time. And the final crew we have is Miles O'Brien. So planning phase, disable this card. Remove a disable token from a tech or weapon upgrade equipped to the ship for 2 points. So it's the same as Crusher's idea, except for this time it is with tech or weapons instead of crew. For 2 points, not having to use your action to remove that disable token could be used in some builds. So I think he certainly has some uses. Not a terrible card by any means, just not great. And the first elite talent we have is Make It So. Action, discard this card. This ship may perform 2 actions on Admiral cards, Captain cards, and or crew upgrades equipped to it as free actions for 3 points. Not very good. You essentially spending 3 points for an additional action. There's tons of ways now to get free actions on your ship, so you don't need this elite talent. The second elite talent we get is the Riker maneuver. So when defending, if the attacking ship is not within the ship's primary firing arc, discard this card. Remove all target lock and battle station tokens beside the attacking ship. Place an auxiliary beside this ship and the attacking ship for 4 points. It certainly kind of reflects the scenario which the Enterprise E was escaping the Sona ships. It is nice that you're able to remove the quality that your opponent would be getting normally with a target lock or battle station token. But I think it's probably a tad expensive for what it does. And there's probably better ways to spend your 4 points. So leave this one at home too, I think. And the first weapon we get is photon torpedoes. This is not your average photon torpedo upgrade though. So the attack value of this weapon is the ship's primary weapon value plus 1. Attack. Spend the ship's target lock token. Disable this card and target an opposing ship. This ship may convert all blanks into battle stations for 2 points. Has to be within range 2 to 3 and can be fired from your primary or secondary arc. Love this card. Love this card. Love this card. It is with battle station. You can get perfect quality with up to 6 dice if you throw on the Enterprise E. Then you don't even need the target lock. Love it. If you're going to run secondary weapons, specifically torpedoes, run this one. Just do it. So the final weapon we get is Tactical Station. This time it is limited to 1 per ship, and there's actually, again, a wharf ruling on that the old Tactical Station is being errated to also be 1 per ship, along with interface generator, so keep that in mind. So, Tactical Station, add 1 weapon slot to the ship's upgrade bar. When attacking, disable this card. This ship rolls +1 attack die this game round. Or, when attacking, discard this card. This ship rolls +2 attack dice this game round for 4 points. I think it's worth it. It may be 1 point too expensive for me, but it's certainly a useful ability. It is the same as the old Tactical Station, just kind of in the new wording format and ship layout. So I think it's worthwhile to use. Combine it with something like Zakona, and you can certainly get some cheap weapon upgrades, a lot of them. Just keep in mind that the old Tactical Station is also limited to 1 per ship now. And the last Federation card that comes in the new starter set, Exocomp. So planning phase, place 2 time tokens on this card. Repair 1 damage to the ship's hull for 4 points. I quite like it. I used it recently to quite good effect. Maybe a tad expensive for what it does, but every second turn you can repair 1 damage to your hull, so place it on a high hull ship, and you can certainly increase your durability by quite a bit. So I think it's worth taking. So thank you for taking the time and watching my review/overview of the contents and the Federation cards of the Federation versus Klingon starter set. I think it's something that you certainly want to buy, whether you're new to the game or an existing player. There's some fantastic cards in here. On the Federation side, the new USS Sutherland can make a super defensive build out of that. The new Photon Torpedo upgrade is fantastic, if not even slightly overpowered, but they've been throwing garbage with them for such a long time that this is a welcome change/fix. An errated Tactical Station, and some other pretty useful cards in here as well. So next week I'll be going over the Klingon side of it. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and see you next time.